Hi, my name is Ajinkya. I am mechanical engineer by profession, solar PV installer by interest, and yoga and meditation enthusiast by nature. Today I am going to talk on topic which is very much important, which we all have to take into considerations, because whatever we are doing now is going to become future, and if we are doing right, then it's great, but something is getting wrong, then we have to pay the price, not for only us, for our coming generations. So the today's topic is that the earth, we, and sun. I'm going to talk on how these relations are interdependent and impacting each other. So let's get started. Our Mother Earth, Nature Earth, has given us a lot of resources, and it's because the interaction of the sun with the earth, and that is I called natural cycles. When sun interact with the earth, it has created natural cycle, and human interaction with the earth is I called artificial cycle. And these two cycles we have to understand very carefully. And if we know that, then you will understand what I am saying. So let's get started. When sun interacting with the earth, it creates a lot of numerous cycles, so many cycles it creates, and that cycles are work so such a way that because of that this much diversity we find on our planet earth. And here, from this natural cycle, we have to understand that earth loves to work in cycles, and it loves diversity. These are two very important things. What is the meaning of cycles? Like we see in our villages, cow dung waste uses into the farm, and farm waste we use for the cow, and that's how one cycle completed. And there are so many such examples like water cycles. Water evaporate from the oceans, it goes to the clouds, in the form of the cloud that transport to another place. Rain comes, then it goes into the rivers, and from river it again goes into the ocean. That is another cycles. And third I can say like plant gives us oxygens, we give out carbon dioxides, plant takes that. Like that there are so many cycles in which sun because of the interactions of the sun and earth, and all these cycles helps us to be sustainable. And also earth has its own ways to manage its waste also. Like I have previously told example that cow waste goes to the farm, and farm waste goes to the cow. Means earth loves to work in cycles, and and also diversity. And earth has its own ways to manage its waste which it has created. Means natural cycle is a cyclical in nature. So let's go now to the artificial cycle. Artificial cycle is nothing but the interaction of the human being with the earth with the help of its intelligence and the technology which it has created. And if we closely observe that human interaction with the earth is not cyclical in nature, it's mostly linear in nature. For example, we use our bikes and we put petrol into that, but we travel from one place to another place, but simultaneously waste is also generated, and that is carbon dioxides, we can say methane gas, we can say greenhouse gases. And these gases we don't have any technology to recycle it. And because of that, when same thing is multiplied into the masses, it creates a huge problem. Our general attitude is that problem is not a problem when it is done by single person, but we have to understand when the same problem is done by so many people, then it becomes a huge problem and challenge for ourselves and coming generation. So in natural cycle we have seen there are its own ways to manage the waste, but in our case we work linearly. We just do things for getting what we want, but whatever the waste produced, because of that we don't care for it. Mostly, I'm not saying everyone doing that. This is I can say gaseous pollution, I can say. Second is solid waste, like we eat the chocolate wrappers and we throw it anywhere, and that's how that wrappers goes into the stomach of animals, and so many diseases get people because of eating the animals also. And we can see the effect of the plastic pollution in oceans, like that solid waste also is there. We use stuffs and throw it anywhere, we don't recycle it. And that's how, when a lot of masses of people do the same thing, then that artificial cycle interacting with the natural cycle, and because of that it breaks cycles one by one of nature, and indirectly we are affecting our own souls. Whatever we are doing, its impact on the nature, and nature again will impact on us. So we have to be careful. We also have to be we also have to follow the way of nature working. We have to, in natural cycle, we have seen that nature loves to work in cycles, and it also loves diversity. Similarly, we have to also work, artificial cycle also have to work in cycles, and it also has to love diversity. What does that mean? Means whatever we are taking and whatever we are producing waste, we have to recycle it in such a way that we can form a cycle, and that cycle will help us to remove all the problems in the world, and also it will help us to be sustainable. Like earth has, natural cycle has diversified sources of solution for the same problem. Similarly, we have to also design diversified solutions for the same problems in artificial cycle, and that is the way by which we can solve the problem in artificial cycle, linear nature of artificial cycle. And we have to understand that today we are moving through very big climate change problem, and in order to solve it, we have to take this responsibility on our own selves, and we have to contribute in it. And the last I'm going to say that very important learning from mine is that we have to change our thinking pattern, that problem is not a problem when it is done by one, but we have to understand, but we have to understand that when the same problem is repeated by the masses, then it becomes a big problem. And for that purpose, we have to take steps very soon, and we have to be responsible for it. We have to work for it when we understand it. Okay, take care, bye bye.